Good evening. Welcome to Hypnosis Hero. So I'm getting some messages here. So I just want to check those. Seems to be a problem. Streaming to not found failed. Okay. Well, hopefully it's getting found by somebody. Maybe Shawn can jump over to Facebook. We're right now. Hey, if you're listening, right, thank you for tuning in to Hypnosis Hero every second and fourth Friday. Myself, Brian Bay, and Shawn Kostiuk, we like to bring on a guest Hypnosis Hero. And when we do that, we interview them and then so you can get hypnotized through the screen. That's right, you will get hypnotized tonight. I'm super excited to talk to our guest tonight. I've known her for quite a long time. She's a friend here in the Puget area. But of course, in that, I just want to remind everybody to go and download. Of course, you know the thing you got to download, right? Let me hear it. Everybody shout at once. App over on the Google Play Store. Trying to find it right now. There it is, Hypnosis Hero. Download the app. Still working on the iPhone version. Listening. Sorry, we're still working on it. But we are updating the what do you call it? The Android version. So that'll hopefully be coming out soon. If you're here right now, just let us know who's watching. We got echo. Okay, well, hopefully that's going away. I seem to have maybe a bad tonight. I may have to cut out and have Shawn take over the duties. We got echo. Hello, Nora. All right, first order of business. We're going to bring on Bay.
Hey, good morning or good evening,
Hello,
Jim.
Brian.
How are you doing?
Good evening. How are you today?
Oh, not too bad. It was a definitely early morning, but had a nap this afternoon, and I'm feeling much better. So, how's your week?
Long and crazy, but good. Get a lot of stuff done. Excited about that.
Yeah, is
Mr. Kostiuk on?
I just took over everything by the looks of it. Hey, everybody.
Can you hear me, Shawn?
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Good job.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your audio is much better. Is mine all broken up, or is that the app?
No, yours sounds fine.
Okay.
I think it's just Jim that's actually
just me?
cutting it out.
Oh.
Hey, Nora. How are you tonight?
What is going on?
Yeah, Jim, your audio kind of pops
Scott,
in
let me
and
see
out.
if I
Not only do I sound fine, Scott, I am fine.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if you noticed this, Shawn,
this is a family show, Shawn.
So, Shawn, I saw. Can you tell what was the weather like for you this week?
For me, mostly raining. I actually had to turn the heat on, which is not atypical in August, but it is unusual this early in August.
You guys aren't due for snow for like at least 2 weeks.
Oh no, I posted we had snow the other day.
I know, I saw that.
It wasn't snow, everybody. Don't get your knickers in a knot. No, it was we got some hail out our way. Also not atypical when it comes off a really hot spree and then kind of dips right down to where you have to turn the heat on. It's usually a thunderstorm pulling in behind it.
Yeah, we had Washington. We had some like pretty hot weather, and then like earlier this week, it just started raining, and then end of the day would turn out beautiful. But I finally got to ride the motorcycle yesterday for the first time this week.
That seems late in the season.
Nice.
Well, for this week, because it was just wet roads and everything. And
okay.
I've kind of got that anti skid in the road thing that I try not to do.
It's usually a good policy not to skid in the middle of the road.
Yeah. But
all right, guys, we got Carol. She's making fun of us for technical difficulties.
Oh, it's all part of the show.
Yeah, once everything gets worked out, we'll be done.
Brand new stage hypnotist right there, Carol. She just got trained by Tommy V.
Yep.
Kendall, another fabulous hypnotist. We got just Nora and Scott. And Scott says, check all your connections. Yeah, I've
both internal and external, Jim.
If it gets too bad.
Oh, Janae's with us.
What's that? Janae, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so I keep headphones, but they just don't seem to. Yeah, they don't seem to be wanting to do anything, so I don't know. They won't connect. Anyway, all right. So as I explained to people yesterday on Hypno News, my MacBook died, and so now I'm resorting to my old PC. And as you can see, it's a terrible mistake to ever own a PC, people. Sorry. It's just a reality.
Those are fighting.
But Shawn.
I'm on a PC and I'm working fine.
And I'm on a PC and I'm working fine. They are proper
He's even on
computers.
the metric version.
Whatever.
Yeah, these are proper computers. None of that aluminium crap.
So, Shawn, in solidarity with my Saskatchewan brothers and sisters.
There we go.
What I got here.
Oh, he's got a toque.
There it is.
He found it.
I got a toque, and this is Canada on it. This is the one that my good friend Shawn Kostiuk, Canadian, of course, he bought me at Hypnothoughts year before this last one, and I brought it home, and my wife, I don't know, got lost. She has a lot of stuff. Anyway, I should have took better care. Anyway, I found it, and I wanted to have a little solidarity with my Canadian brothers and sisters.
For everybody who doesn't know the story, I got a 30-second story behind that too, because I told Jim before I went to Hypnothoughts, not this year, not this past one, but the year before, I said, look, I'll bring you something from Canada. It'll be all good. And I think at that time we were still complaining because it was cold outside and whatnot. So I said, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to bring Jim. Except that when I flew from Regina to Vancouver, I got to Vancouver and all of a sudden I remembered, oh, damn, I didn't get Jim anything. And I'm thinking to myself, where am I going to find where am I going to find a toque that Jim can have for the winter? And I ran through the airport 3 times and I found one shop that had 2 different styles of toques. And I thought that was the gaudiest one. That's got to be Jim.
And Shawn, you did well. It probably smells like maple syrup too.
Well, yeah, it probably did when I bought it. Yeah. Oh, what's Scott saying about
tastes
PCs?
like maple syrup, guys.
There you go.
Great story, great gift. I really this winter I'll actually be able to wear it now that I found it. I put it in a safe place so it doesn't get lost in the big pile of stuff again. Sounds like Shawn's going to have some time in September, but I guess today he's not going to have the news that we thought he was going to have. Everything's going good.
Yeah, except for my football team lost tonight. They're playing like they needed a kick in the behind. So it's okay. We're 4-5 on the season, and we're just halfway through the season now. So we've got lots of time to win more games.
All right. Well,
now, is that Canadian football, American football, or
it's real? It's real football. 3 down, that 4 down, namby-pamby stuff.
Wait. Oh, okay. I have questions. Canadian football is 3 downs only.
3 downs, bigger balls, and a bigger field.
Well, like what, 10 feet maybe? Well,
No,
what's the
actually,
difference between a meter and a yard?
you would have
Let's find out from Google.
3 meters in a yard.
All right. Well, you guys figure out the metric system. Shawn, I'm going to send you away
Yep.
right now. We'll bring you back later. And okay, good. All right. Without further ado, so as I was saying, so this is a really good friend of mine. She's an amazing hypnotherapist, amazing friend, colleague. She's a hypnotherapist. She's also the creator of the Soul Power Experience, One and Done and Be Smoke Free. She also offers intuitive sessions. Dani calls herself, I love this term, a spiritual actor. Please put your hands together for Miss Dani Green. Dani, hello.
Hello, I'm so glad to be here. Hello, Brian. I haven't seen you for ages. Good to see you.
You beat me to it. But how are things? I've been keeping an eye on you on Facebook appropriately, just based off what you post, and you seem to be doing just absolutely well. You look phenomenal tonight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. You got me all summed up. I'm doing phenomenal.
Good.
And I'm happy to be here. We all love Jim Kellner. He's amazing. Thanks so much for this show and for everything you do in the region and all around the United States and the world for hypnosis. So thanks for having me.
And being international.
Well, bless you. I'll give you about 15 more minutes to do that.
Handsome, smart, funny.
Okay. Now, what about Jim?
So we're just going to spend the rest of the show talking about how awesome I am. Please continue, Dani. Go ahead. Dani Green. So here's now. Actually, we should let people know too, because of a scheduling issue. Actually, going to be speaking tomorrow morning at the local National Guild of Hypnotists meeting.
Absolutely, an entirely different topic, but yes, yeah. I will get that ready. I can only do one thing at a time, so I'm ready for this, awesome. And then I'll do that and be ready by 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Right.
With handouts and everything.
Oh, I like it. People do love the handouts. I'm going to stop. Brian, you can do some shout outs while I focus on Dani getting this. Well, looks like Brian just messaged me something. Dang it. It's hard to keep track of everything. Okay. Shawn, can you give? You know what, Shawn? That's why I can't. You logged in first, so that means you get to give the superpowers. That's why. Okay. So give Brian some superpowers, if you will. Hey, if you're watching at home, sorry about that. You don't care about the superpowers. But Dani, thank you. What is it? What do you mean by a spiritual activist?
I found that term in a book, and I thought that exactly meets what I do in the world, which is to present spirituality in such a way that it's completely inclusive, it's completely universal. We are all divine, and removing any limitations that people have felt in the past about their spirituality. So my goal is to bring emotional and spiritual freedom to the world, and I like to think differently about everything all the time. And that's my mission, is to get new information out to the hearts and minds of the human family. Some people don't think that they're spiritual, and I'd like to shine a little light on that.
That's fantastic. I just want to say, Scott King, I don't know how to do all those things you're telling me to do there. Built-in noise reduction.
Like unplug it and then plug it back in.
You know what?
Now we can't hear you at all. So sorry. Not working.
Uh-oh. Did Jim's mic just unsubscribe and leave the chat?
It may have. So maybe, Brian, it's you and me until we can hear Jim again.
Oh God, this is gonna be scary. But no, no. So you and I met. I think it wasn't a couple days after I met Jim, and I've told the story a couple of times where it was at that meeting that Jim was like, "Hey, can you make a couple of T-shirts? We're gonna go do some street hypnosis, and come with me and make yourself a shirt." And then I remember that's when you came out with us, and again where we met. So you were like having the video camera. We were down by University of Washington and everything. But kind of help me understand and our viewers and listeners understand what was your path to getting into hypnosis, and what's your approach, and kind of what drew you to that profession?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned in the summary that, Jim put on the post about this session today, about this meeting, and that I was at a super low point in my life. In 2015, everything had kind of crashed down around me. I had just resigned a church job, and I really didn't know what was next, except that when I left that church building on December 31st at 5:30 in the afternoon in 2014, I said, okay, God, what else do you have out here for healing and transformation? Because I think that's what people really, really want and need. And so I began a journey of just researching that. And I was working from home. And you know how snacks can kind of call you from the pantry. That was happening to me.
Oh, you got to put that sign up there that says, "You're not hungry, stupid. You're bored. Go."
Exactly.
You're
just procrastinating. Figure it out. So I found
you were just so I'm following. When you say you were working from home, you were working from home when you had the church position. Is that
no,
correct?
I resigned my church job.
Oh, okay.
So you know how you bring healthy food with you all day long, and then you kind of have to deal with food in the evening if you eat for stress reasons.
Right.
Anyway, I was home all day, and so I really had to figure that out because I really care about my health. It's one of the most important things. I went to a group hypnosis class, and I haven't eaten an Oreo cookie or a graham cracker since May of 2015 after that class. And so I thought, boy, if hypnosis can keep me away from Oreo cookies and graham crackers, I want to see what this is like. So that fall, I studied with Mary Lee LeBay and became a hypnotherapist. And, I sent an email to all my old friends that knew me from church in different ways. Mm-hmm. And I had a client the very first hour it was open that December. So it was really a confirmation that I was on the right path. And so I've been just doing hypnosis ever since.
Oh, if anybody says, "Hey, I'm going to keep you away from bacon," it's sacrilegious. It makes Jesus cry, and all that stuff. But thankfully, it was just Oreos. I can do without. But
yeah, absolutely.
No,
so that's how I got started.
I'm having a brain short circuiting. Jim, who was the lady that was, let's say, like Angie? I could be completely off base. She was out of Hawaii that had her. She was a guest on where she was like going through a divorce or something like that, and then she just kind of was like, "What am I going to do?" And then she started her hypnosis stuff, and now she basically does it because it's fun. And it's sort of like you get pulled. Wendy
Friesen.
Yep, that's it.
Wendy Friesen.
Yeah. So it's, and that was kind of how I came across Jim. There was some stuff going on in my life that I was just kind of like, okay, time out from everything. And that's when Jim was like, "Hey, I'd like to work with you," and to say it's life changing is an understatement. And What would be the most rewarding thing that about what you do? How would you describe that?
So for me, it is the personal transformation that people can change the story that they tell themselves, because it's mostly the thoughts we have in our mind that we need to change. And when you can change someone's thoughts and find out what's deeply, deeply true for them, I help them write their own mantras. And so I record, by hand what they say in session, and they come away with a sheet of truths that are part of the essence of who they are, and they can use those truths to move forward in their life. Yeah. I mean, I had one client, I said in the testimony, that was just tired of feeling suicidal. And after going through my program, he was able to pick up every area of his life and move forward. It was just a complete 180. And that's really satisfying when you can help someone that much.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like, hi, here's your life back.
Yes, exactly. And now, even better than it ever was.
Now, I get this question a lot from people. Just, they kind of go, wait, you do personal injury or a Shriner and you do hypnosis and everything? Like, what sort of wizardry is this that you do? How, in your words, how would you define or describe what hypnosis is?
Well, obviously, it's you get a client into a meditative state. So that just, is so true that meditation is really, really an important state to be in, like a calm state throughout the day. That's very good for your immune system and the functioning of your brain and your body. And then I follow the client. So whatever issue they come with, we kind of unpack it. We, get them in a safe place emotionally to talk about it. And then keep asking them enough questions so that they can change their perspective and find out what's more true than what they've been struggling with. There's usually a deeper truth that leads them forward and out of it. I mean, I had one client, if I could tell a client story, who was in a really dysfunctional home with her parents. And at 6 years old, she reacted to her mom very strongly. And I won't really go into the details of that, but she had a very difficult situation as a 6-year-old, and she was 60 when she came to me. And that situation made her feel like a bad girl her whole life, like from 6 to 60.
Bad meaning like there was something wrong with her.
There was something wrong with her if she could do that. And I helped her see in hypnosis that it wasn't her. She was in survival mode. It was her environment and her parents, parenting strategy, because some parents are less capable of parenting than others. And when she could see that it was her environment and not her, it completely changed her life. And after that session, she was like driving down the road and she said, "I love you." And she said her own name, like for the very first time she could love herself. And
it's like Goodwill Hunting of your mind, where Robin Williams tells Matt Damon, like, it's not your fault. Okay, it's not your fault. And Matt Damon's just losing it on him. And then he's like, it just keeps saying, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And then he finally just like breaks down and is sort of like, okay, now we can open up. You help that lady do that to herself. And then it's like light bulb goes off. I was talking to a new potential client today out of Michigan. She got T-boned by a motorcycle rider that was going entirely too fast, no helmet. And dude's alive right now, but probably not for long. And I was trying to explain to her, like, here's probably some stuff that you're going to be feeling. It's not your fault. You didn't see the person. You were looking the direction that you were going, and then the side of your car exploded when you got hit, and all that stuff. So it's definitely very, very powerful. And having experienced it myself, coming out of the military, from some dark places and things that had gone on, working with Jim. And I think when we met, you kind of saw like, okay, here's the foundation, like here's where we're going to go from here. and I believe you were there when Jim stuck me to the pavement on University Avenue at that farmers market by UW. And you didn't do anything. You just laughed along with everybody else, including me. They were like, is he okay? Did he like faint or something? You're like, no, it's hypnosis. And they're like, oh, okay. Can I go next? And I'm going, what? Well, something really did happen to me, but Jim spoke with authority and all that stuff. That's one of my favorite stories to tell when I tattle on him. But how long have you been doing hypnosis?
That was fun. That was a fun time.
Yeah, so since December of 2015. Yeah, that's when I started. Yeah, and then we have a question from Becca. On average, how many sessions of hypnotherapy does someone need, or does it just depend? Well, it depends on each hypnotherapist has their program that's specific to them. But many of us just offer also just intuitive sessions where you show up with when life becomes a situation in your life becomes kind of unbearable. You can't get through it. You can't get past it. You need a new perspective. You need to get through it and move forward. We can, I handle those type of issues as well. So it depends on the client.
And it's kind of hard to not give like a general and kind of avoided attorney sounding answer, but yeah, it absolutely does depend, because it's not like, okay, smoking 2 sessions, you're cured, guaranteed, because you'd have a lot of people sued. It does, in my opinion, I think a good hypnotherapist is going to tailor treatment to what you need. And very much like an attorney, hypnotherapist, job is to work themselves out of a job as quickly as possible. But also recognizing that there's that balance between, okay, if you think there's not enough time to do it right the first time, just remember there's always time to do when you have to do it again the second or third time.
Yeah, when I first opened my business, I had a business coach for 6 months, and I really felt like that 6-month period was time for me to really grow my business and my mindset about business. So one of my programs, the Soul Power Experience, is 6 months, and it really gives the client time to change, time to really evaluate every area of their life and grow. And I'm with them for that.
Take us through kind of a general, what does your 6-month program look like? Is this weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? Is there homework involved?
Yes. So I meet with clients every 2 weeks, and the Soul Power Experience has like a pre-session theme and a journal sheet, hypnosis, a guided meditation audio, and a post-session journaling sheet where they can, kind of work through a particular issue. And then in hypnosis, we do an intake for 15 minutes, then hypnosis. And I write down exactly what the client says. And then after the session, the last 10 minutes, I dictate to the client what they said, because they can remember that they've had some really transformational ideas, but to get your exact words and you write them down and take them with you is really powerful.
Yeah, oh, very cool. So the stuff that you're writing down or memorializing, is that what they're saying while they're in hypnosis, or?
Yeah, exactly. While they're in hypnosis, I take notes. Yes.
So you're kind of like doing a deep dive, peeling back the layers, uncovering what's locked away in the cavities of our minds, and then kind of going, all right, here's what you said. Here's what we found. Your words, not mine.
Exactly.
Do with it what you need to do. Okay.
Yeah, because we usually, we're all really busy and we don't slow down enough to really listen to ourselves and listen to what's deeply true. Because like if you try to meditate, what happens? Your thoughts just get kind of squirrely and wild and you can't focus. But when you're in hypnosis and you've got a guide next to you, that synergy of 2 people focusing on you really increases your capacity to learn what's deeply true about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. Tina says hi from Springfield, Illinois, and Janae's got a good question. I noticed that in a hypnotherapy context, some traditional hypnosis elements, meaning sleep commands or non-progressive relaxation inductions, are less common, and she wanted to get your take on why you think that is.
Well, I really think it's the style of the hypnotherapist. I am such a compassionate listener, and I'm so present with the client. Every session's super organic, and I don't really go with scripts that really limit or tie me to a particular way of doing things, because that would be really boring if I did it the same way every time. And so maybe it's just the mindset or the style of the hypnotherapists themselves. Some like structure, some don't. That's my idea.
And Janae, you're totally inside Becca's head right now, because she says Becca was just about to ask the same question or something similar. So Becca's got another one here. Do hypnotherapy?
Let me just interrupt for a second. So the thing is for most people, what they see of hypnosis is general, unless they go to a hypnotherapist. What they see either at a show or on YouTube and stuff are the street hypnosis or stage hypnosis. And so we're using shock inductions. We're using inductions that are more suited to that. Whereas in hypnotherapy, we use different ones. It's not that we can't do shock inductions in hypnotherapy, but when somebody's sitting there, quietly on the Zoom call or in your therapy room, and you shout, "Sleep!" It's not exactly the same kind of experience for them. We can do that, and we have. I'm sure I have. Dani could do that too, but it's just a different way of doing things, really.
I think that shock inductions would probably more work on people with like ADD or maybe ADHD, because I think, Jim, it wasn't but maybe 2 weeks or something before I met you, I went to a hypnotherapist in town, and this was just her style. And I want to make sure I'm not knocking her, but she went through this progressive relaxation, and her whole thing was, pick your favorite location, that like a vacation spot, look up at the ceiling and, relax. I trailed off on her instructions because I'm still stuck on, Hawaii's nice, but like a tropical island is pretty cool. Snowboarding kind of helps me relax. And I really like the snowfall and everything. And I couldn't get any traction. I kind of just finally dozed off because I was just exhausted, bored out of my mind, and probably sleep deprivation. And then, I kind of just, all of a sudden I remember opening my eyes, and I kind of looked over, and she's off just all, she's in her own world. And I finally was just like, okay, now I'm really pissed off and I'm really bored. But, when I worked with Jim and stuff like that, it was like, we had that group that I attended, and not producer Shawn, but a different Shawn. He was like, okay, and then look up, look down here, bang, pow, and I was under. And then that helped me when I worked with Jim over the phone. It was okay, very, very specific direction. And I remember 98, deeper, relaxed, and then opening my eyes. It's 45 minutes later, and I've been like, oh God, I feel so horrible. And he's like, oh, I knew you were out. I could hear you snoring on the phone, but having the earbuds in, the voice and everything, he goes, you were right there, where I needed you to be. So but from what you're describing, it sounds like you use a little bit of a less structured, but allows you to kind of pivot and navigate a little bit more nimbly, if I would use that term.
Yeah, I had a client recently who is a marketing strategist, and so she's very logical, and I tried a more intuitive practice with her, and she just kind of went, and she doesn't like to keep her eyes closed, so that's fine. But anyway, she opened her eyes and said, "What are you talking about? I don't like that." And I had to right there switch the entire session to something that was more concrete for her. So I just follow what the client needs.
Oh, she didn't like the
She
hey,
didn't like, in that particular time, in that particular session, she did not want to use her imagination. She just didn't want to imagine anything. And see, that's kind of what lost you in your first hypnosis experience, is all the imaginary stuff. And so you just really have to read your client and follow what's meeting their needs.
It wasn't that I didn't want to use my imagination. It's more of a, and I tell people it's kind of a learning disability. I'm great at like report writing, so the paralegal type stuff, give me fax replay an account. When I was doing private security, hey, this is why dude got arrested. And we did the habeas corpus. But when you sit there and go, here's a blank piece of paper, I want you to give me 2 paragraphs on anything that you want. I'll stare at that piece of paper for 3 days, just trying to pick a place to start.
Yeah.
And it probably sounds like it in that moment, she was just like, I want to just kind of follow directions. Tell me to go that way. I don't have to think. I just want to zone out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not have to be in charge of anything. And I've heard that women kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just wanted to tell. So Janaea and Becca, if you prefer those kind of inductions and that sort of thing, you can certainly ask your hypnotherapist to integrate those, because they have the best experience possible. So if that's what if you really want that, most I think will comply with that and do what you like. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you have success, that means the hypnotherapist looks like a rock star. Then, Janaea says the blank piece of paper is too relatable. Oh, yay, Janaea, how many ADD kids does it take to change a light bulb? You want to go ride bikes now? And Becca says,
yeah, I do find that with and people that are more logical, more analytical, they don't tend to do as well with the progressive relaxation. So I think shock inductions, also overload inductions.
Yeah.
So Brian, I got to. Do you remember the one I did like this with you, the hand spin?
Vaguely, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm
really digging that one now for shock inductions. I'm really digging that one for like the analytical clients, and also even for street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you think about it, the analytical clients, they're like, okay, we're sitting down together. I'm meeting with you. We're working as a team to solve a specific problem. What are we going to do about it? And it's almost like, for the analytical people, it's almost like a C-level executive that says, okay, I'm coming to you for guidance. You are my consultant. If I knew exactly what to do, I wouldn't be talking to you. So, tell me what you need me to do. How can I be, how can I work and solve this problem? Not, how do you feel about this? Oh, I'm sorry, we're out of time. Like a lot of therapists do. But no, Kendall.
Hey, Shawn, Shawn, have you already shared Dani's website and socials yet? Let's help people connect to her. If they want to work with her, we'd love to see them connect with her. Also, if you're a hypnotist that's watching, please feel free to drop your links down in comments there. Have people find who they need. So Becca says, I still like some progressive relaxation, but still prefer some fun, as she says. Works.
Becca just likes to be hit on the head
Who
with
are your favorite clients to work with?
What's that? You cut up. Yep.
Fine. Dani, who are your favorite clients to work with? Do you have any?
I like to work with clients whose lives are a wreck. They've just tried everything. Nothing's working for them. They feel they lack their own personal power. They don't really know what next step to take in a particular area of the life. When your life is kind of falling apart. I like to help them pick up their pieces, know who they are deeply within themselves, so they can find their own personal power. And also, a lot of stories need to be rewritten. In hypnosis. I'll just give one more client story. This lady was in her 50s when she came to me, and when she was 7, her brother was really mean to her, just like hit her, and he was really, really a mean big brother. And he threw a piece of wood at her, which was not nice, but it had a nail in it, and it punctured her thigh. And it was so scary for her, and she felt so hurt that she became afraid and angry, like every day for the rest of her life. And she really wanted to get fear and anger out of her psyche. So we were able to revisit that situation. And basically, one thing she said to herself when that happened was, I want out of this family. And when she recalled that, and I pointed out that was when she was 7, was the projection of her life out of that family and becoming an independent, wealthy person, because she's a business person. And so that situation actually empowered her to become an individual and get out of that household. And it propelled her into the success that she was experiencing. So by the end of that session, she was actually not happy, but she was understanding of why that happened and happy that that's what helped her get out of that family and succeed in her life. So rather than fear, she was empowered to change her life because of that. So that's just one story of how you can change something that's happened, the story you tell yourself about it, and then see the empowering result. So I love to do stuff like that. Those are my clients.
That's almost like cheating, because it's
gotta be so rewarding.
Their lives are just like scraping the bottom of the barrel, and like anything is just a super improvement. So you're like, oh, look at me, I took them from here to way up here. I am practically a god.
Well, and the mantra she wrote for herself, which I've repeated many times, is, I am strong and I am stronger than I think I am. And so just, you can see in that one statement, I am strong and I'm stronger than I think I am. There were 3 I ams in that one statement that she wrote for herself in hypnosis. And that's just a great mantra to repeat to yourself any day anyway. Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice. That's awesome. Hey, I want to let everybody know. So coming up in the rest of the show, Dani has and I saw Shawn actually upload it. You can download Dani's I am me mantra. It's a PDF. Download that.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
And she's going to go through that with. So we're going to go through that, so and then later on, we're also going to always do hypnosis. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I completely cut you off and interrupted you. I threw the link for the I am mantra up on the screen.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, so download that. Dani's going to actually go through that with us. She's really proud of this work, and I'm really excited for her to share it with us tonight. And then she's going to do some live hypnosis. You are going to through the screen. That's right. You're going to hit the screen. So prepare yourself. When that starts, maybe even now, pull over. Don't drive. Don't bake a cake. Sit down, lay down, relax, and get ready. And of course, there it is. There's the app. Be sure and download the Hypnosis Hero app. And I believe Dani's got one on the way. Am I right? Has an app on the way?
Someday, Jim. Someday. Yeah, you have to hang out with people that are accomplishing things. So I'll just hang out with you, Jim, and someday I'll be just as fancy as you are.
You'll do it. You'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to share with you
the mantra.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to share with you where I was at the end of 2014. having just left my church job, that situation, it's nothing wrong with the church, I'm not saying that, but that particular situation left me with no confidence, no direction. It took me just 9 months to figure out what was next. And but when I became a hypnotherapist, I really started, putting my life back together, actually. And so I wrote this I am mantra. It's actually I am me mantra over years, because I found statements that really empowered me on the inside. And I put that in this mantra. And so you can download it and print it for yourself. But I want to just share with you, the very first statement is I am. And when you just can sit with those two words, you're not adding any roles or responsibilities to, I'm a mom or a wife or a hypnotherapist. I also officiate weddings and funerals. I'm an officiant or whatever. You're not doing anything other than just being who you are and feeling your own, the essence of who you are in that one statement. And so I'm going to lead you through a meditation that will help you feel in your body your highest level of consciousness, your highest consciousness. So the I am statement's super important. Just to say those two words, it really helped me strengthen myself on the inside. The next one I learned from a book called The Science of Being Great by no, that wasn't the book. It was The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he said that we
Great
often
book.
in our lives are, we're in a hierarchical system, like you're a child and you've got parents, you're a student and you have teachers, you're an employee and you have bosses. And so we feel less than because there's people over us throughout our lives, and that's a hierarchical system. And that's kind of why I think my other job kind of wore me out. But he said that we should do life with, this is my territory. Wherever you are is your territory and you belong there. And so you just feel strong just showing up, if it's for a network group or for a business meeting or a family event, feeling strong within yourself, like I own the space around me. This is my territory. I belong here. So we'll experience that.
You don't have to pee in the corner of your own house to market.
Exactly. Anywhere you are, you belong there. So that feeling of belonging is super important, and that really helped me. Then the next one is I am able. And so, that poem by Maya Angelou that she says or a poem or a statement, I'm not sure. She said, when you know better, do better. And I realized that a lot of us, myself included, and everyone on the planet, we're all in the same boat, really. When we know better, we can't always do better. That's where we really, get kind of dragged down into our life experiences, when we know better and we just cannot do better. So I was, meditating on what's a better statement than that. And so basically what we have to do is just accept I am able. And the statement here is I have been, I am now, and I will be as able as I am. So some of the stuff in my past that I didn't maybe follow through on because I got scared, or I just didn't have the personal power to stand up to something, and you feel kind of regret, and you know what that feels like. Well, anyway, but then if I look at my past, I go, look, I was as able as I was. Today I'm as able as I am. Tomorrow I'll be as able as I will be then. And just accept where you're at. So that statement really changed my own personal strength. And then the next one is I am me. And I love it, like my client who was just finally able to say, I love you. And then she named herself. That's just being happy with who you are. And getting to that state is super important for your personal sense of power. So the statement there is, I accept who I am. And I'm very, very, very happy to be me. So that's a great mantra. I am me. I'm happy to be me. And, feeling that deeply is important. Then another concept that I started with when I started trying to find out, what was transformational. I went to our daughter's wedding in India in 2015, and I was told by my son-in-law to greet everyone with namaste, namaste. And I really must have missed this in yoga class, but I did not have any idea what namaste meant, right? So he told me the divine in me greets the divine in you. And I all of a sudden recognized the divinity of everyone on the planet. We're just all at the same level. We're just all divine in our who we truly, truly are. And it changed my worldview. And then when I came back, I read another book, The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles, like I said. And he said, obey your soul. And I thought, that's it. Like, I've always tried to obey other people and, my parents, my teachers, my bosses, but I get to obey me. I get to obey what's deeply true for me. So I hired a business coach, like I said, and she helped me come up with the concept of soul power, that we have our divinity within us that gives us power to do life. And then I also learned that our emotions are emanated. They actually, our feelings and emotions, our personal energy radiates out from our body in a 12-foot radius. And so actually how you're feeling shows up in the room before you do. So if you could, be a person of love and just send love out to the world, it's a beautiful way to live. And so I have a meditation, part of this meditation, where I help people just really discern their own inner divinity and then connect with the moon, sun, and stars. And it's just a beautiful way of realizing that you are infinite. So when you realize you're infinite, you literally can show up anywhere and do anything, because you're not limited by just your body, just your circumstances. You are, in fact, infinite. So I'd love to lead everyone through that at the end. But also Jim said that there might be issues that people want to bring up that, we could also address. So that's my I am me mantra that you'll see in that PDF.
I love that. I wanted to just comment on the, there's a lot of great stuff, and there are a lot of great books too. If you're out there watching right now, you might want to write down a few of those. Some really good ones. I love the War of Art. Is that what it's called? I can't remember how it.
Yeah, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Yeah.
And anything by Wallace D. Wattles. The guy was just such good stuff. But what you said about the Maya Angelou quote, I love that, because wow, it was like I just felt this relief, because that's what, when you know better, and then you're like, well, I should be doing better. I know what I should be doing, but sometimes we're just not there. We just don't want to do it, or we don't have the energy to do it. We don't, for whatever reason. And I feel like you let me off the hook a little bit there, Dani. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good.
Let's see. We're catching up with some comments here. Kendall is definitely happy to be her. Yes, Kendall, wonderful person. Lots of heart things there. I want to talk. So, have you ever read? And let's bring Shawn back on too, because I do want to start doing a little bit of some reviews and stuff. You mentioned a lot of good books. How many people have read How to Win Friends and Influence People? Anybody?
I haven't read it, but familiar with the concept.
Get the Cliff Notes, people. If you haven't read the book, get the Cliff Notes. This book changed my life, literally changed my life. I'd gotten in an argument with a friend. I've told this story before, so if you heard it, I'm sorry, but I got in an argument with a friend, and I basically called him a dirty name and said, he was a bad person. And he said, no, you just can't argue. And so I decided I was going to become a great arguer. And so I was reading this book on arguing when I came across this book. And what Dale Carnegie says is, I love this. He says, you'll never win a friend by winning an argument. And it was at that moment suddenly I just realized I didn't have to win arguments, and I wasn't as invested. And so there's so many classic things like this. Like this is, Wallace D. Wattles. He was writing in either the early 1900s or the late 1800s, right, Dani?
Well, the reason I was interested, he was thinking so broadly, he just got excommunicated from his church. And I'm like, okay, well, that seems to be what happened to me.
Ooh,
So that's
I didn't
one
know that
reason.
part.
Yeah, that was great.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of it don't that whole you'll never make a friend by winning an argument. It's that delicate balance, because sometimes you need to be that friend that's going to tell somebody that you truly care about what, not necessarily what they don't want to hear, but what they need to hear. And you
Well, it depends what your
kind
goal
of
is.
need to be that superhero that they need instead of the one that they want. But in general, if you're just arguing over like petty stuff, politics, things like that,
Yeah.
you have the ability to engage in civil discourse.
And that's what he was talking about. He's not talking about just laying over and letting people, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, you shouldn't be anything you're not. But when you think about all the times like that you maybe gotten in an argument with, like I know when I've gotten in arguments with people when honestly it just didn't matter. The result didn't matter. You
Yeah.
may win somebody to your side, but they're not going to. They're probably not going to be. It's going to be hesitant. They're not going to dig you for it, unfortunately. But you do make a great point, Brian. There are times when it's appropriate, but I mean, it just changed my life completely. I love it. So those old books, guys, go check those out. The great thing about a lot of these old books too, like all of Wallace D. Wattles' books, are in the public domain. So you can go over to LibriVox, which is a free app, and you can listen to the audiobook version of his works, and just really, really great stuff. Great stuff, Dani. Shawn, did you have any questions for Dani? You were back there handling the back end. Did anything come up for you that you wanted to mention?
No, you know what? I think the one thing that many of us overlook, though, is taking the time to understand who we are, and then, doing exactly what you did, building it into your own mantra, because then it becomes an anchor for you. And when you're anchored, you're awfully immovable when circumstances start pushing up against you. When you're not anchored, you can float out to sea fairly easily.
Yeah.
It's a great point, Shawn. It just made me think like we oftentimes I mean, you can like go and read blog articles and all kinds of stuff with different affirmations and things like that, but kind of creating your own mantras. I mean, that's powerful stuff right there. So you really touched on something.
Yeah, it's not yours. And here's the problem with the blogs to a certain extent, but social media in particular, is that there's so much of it. Everybody's got their own point of view, and they all want you to agree with their point of view. You need to have your own definition of who you are. You need to have your own. You need to have your own anchor, and if you don't, every time you flip that TikTok video to the next one, you're going to get a different point of view, and you're going to be different, and then you're going to be different, and then you're going to be different, and eventually you become so confused about who you should be, who you want to be, and who you actually are, that it leaves you open and vulnerable.
And being an anchor does not mean that you can't budge on anything. Think of it
No,
like
it's
being
your
an
anchor.
anchor in the ocean. You're tied up. You got your central spot, but then you can still kind of drift around and change the angle of the dangle as you need to when as conditions change. But you at least have a central base to come back to.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with exploring and then coming back to center and then trying something different. That's how you learn. It's not. And actually, I had somebody today talk about the fact that we build walls. We put ourselves in our own fortresses, and when we do that, we actually cut ourselves off from other people. And when you cut yourself off, you're in a far more dangerous spot than you think you are, because there's nobody protecting your back, and you have no frame of reference for what else is going on, because you've got a wall in the way.
and you can't see when life is moving to flank.
Exactly.
I think
Easier to move a boat than a wall.
Yeah, and kind of another way to look at it is, and got my friend's retired or my roommate's retired narcotics dog. You've got the source of the odor, and when they're searching for that path, they call it the scent cone. So the dog's running like, okay, I smell odor this way. Okay, I don't smell odor anymore. Let me come back, and then they kind of ping pong back and forth until they can hone in and narrow down and be like, it's right here. Now I'm going to sit. Now I'm going to get my toy. I did my job. You can shift out, away from, your comfort zone. And I think stepping, not really giving in, but engaging in the hypnosis is more of a better word, was stepping out of my comfort zone. And I'm a much better person for it.
Right. But you know what you did? Once you found something better, you pulled the anchor up, you moved your boat over there, and you dropped the anchor down again.
Here's more favorable conditions. I like this.
Yeah, I'm going to fish over here now.
Yeah, if you're not catching the fish that you're looking for, you either change your location or change your bait. But you need to do something different.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to people about folks who get addicted to therapy. They're like, I just go to my therapist, and they think, just because I show up once a week or every other week, I'm solving the problem. And I'm like, great, you've been solving the problem and working on this for 35 years. You're like Washington Department of Transportation working on I-5, right by the Tacoma Dome on that freeway widening project. It's taken 30 years.
I won't tell you how much construction is going on here in Saskatoon right now. Like most of the downtown core is blocked off with construction, and it's like that's your main tourist attraction. Like you just destroyed half of it.
Yeah, you got the hockey stick factory up there that you're slowing down progress.
Exactly.
Well, let me just say, reiterate what Carol said. Great points, Shawn. Great points. We're going to move on to the hypnosis, guys. One more time, grab this book, everybody. Go get this book. It's a fantastic book. Change your life. Dani, are you ready to hypnotize?
Yeah, are you guys ready?
Ooh, we're ready.
You're going to send it.
These people, this is the whole reason these people show up on Friday nights. They could be out partying, doing crazy things, but no, they're here ready to get hypnotized. Dani Green, hit us with it. Now, before we begin, before we begin, please make sure you are not doing those things you shouldn't be doing right now. So
you're not cooking, you're not driving, you're not operating heavy machinery. Find a place to get comfortable that you're out of range of hard objects. Like don't fall forward into the coffee table. Put your feet up on the couch.
Exactly. All those things.
Yeah.
Don't listen while driving or moving around at all. Now, Dani, please.
Okay, thank you so much, you guys. So when I lead in hypnosis or in this guided meditation, oftentimes I have to close my eyes because it really helps me access what's deeply true. So you guys keep your eyes open. You can look down, look up, whatever you want to do. But for me to focus, I'm going to close my eyes. All right. So for all of you that are out there, just if you're sitting at a table, be sure you lean forward so that you're kind of on your elbows and you don't feel like you're falling out. If there's arms in your chairs, that would even be better. But go ahead and just be as relaxed as you can in the position that you're in. Very good. The very first thing would be to feel your feet on the floor. Help yourself connect to Mother Earth that is below you, that great caring magnetic energy of Mother Earth flowing into your feet, up through your legs. We'll just make it a little brief here, to your seat area, perhaps feeling the base of your spine, relaxing all the muscles along your spine. Relaxing especially your gut area, because we sometimes hold tension there. You can also focus on your breath, breathing in and out through your nose, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. You could even try breathing in through your mouth as though the front of your body is breathing in and breathing out through your mouth as though the back of your body as breathing out. It's a great way to do a full body relaxation. Now relaxing your chest and your shoulders, allowing relaxation to flow down your arms to your hands, focusing on the back of your neck up to the top of your head, relaxing your face, especially the muscles around your eyes. Perfect. So for the first part of this meditation, I want you to imagine your soul within your body. We all know that there's an essence of us that is unchanging, that goes with us from, one realm to the next, one lifetime to the next, whatever your beliefs are about that. So imagine your soul within your body. We each have biophotons. We literally have light energy in our cells. So imagine the light energy of the cells of your body being turned up, like the light on a dimmer switch being turned up. You can imagine your soul around your heart, or even at the very core of your entire body, whatever becomes true for you. Great. And next, you can imagine that light breaking through your body to the space around you. Because light is energy, and energy is all around us. You can imagine your soul as encompassing around you a much bigger space than your own physical body. So in doing so, you have just imagined your body relaxing and your highest consciousness, your soul. And so in doing so, just repeat the mantra, I am. I am. And hopefully that's a really grounding, profound experience for you to know that those two words are enough. Perfect. And then we're going to realize that we own the space around us. So once again, feel your feet. And whether your feet take you within your house, tomorrow in your neighborhood, on Monday to your job, any place you are, you belong there. This is your territory. Feeling that as you imagine going from this place, just feeling the power that you have within yourself for every place where your feet are. You belong. I am here. And so you can repeat that to yourself. I am here. Especially if you're going into any situation that in the past has been stressful for you, imagine yourself showing up now, saying, I'm here. Perfect. And then next is just accepting that I am able. I have been, I am, and I will be as able as I am. Just really trusting the flow of life, and that we're all doing the best we know to do. We're all doing the best we're able to do at any given time. If any past situations come to mind that you might feel regret for, just realize that for what you knew back then, for what the situation you were in back then, you were as able as you could be at that time. So repeating again, I am able. And then when you can really step into a place of self-acceptance, self-love, however you show up in your day, just say, I am me. Whether you're all dressed up or you're not, whichever way you just appear, physically, emotionally, in any way, celebrate that I am me. Whichever way you just... And then for the next part of this mantra, I am infinite. If you could again imagine the energy of your soul within your body, radiating out beyond you. Even it's measurable to 12 feet beyond you, but because energy is energy, it's actually radiates out, to infinity. So imagining your own light and power. And now I want you to focus either like on the sun or the moon or the stars, and knowing that that light energy is flowing towards you. You can even imagine the stars and the galaxy that we're in and the number of galaxies. Can you see just how absolutely infinite light is? And somewhere in the middle, as that light radiates toward you and your light radiates from your own body, somewhere your light and the light of the universe meet. And you can imagine your light joining that light and becoming infinite, just like the light is that's around you. And so you can experience the energy that is you as joined by the energy of the sun, moon, and stars, and of God or love or source or universe. And this just helps you show up in any situation, look like I can handle this. I'm infinite. And using those words, I am infinite, I just encourage and invite you to go be infinite. So thanks so much for joining in this little guided meditation. You can now just open your eyes and receive whatever that was for you.
That was great, Dani. Let us, those of you that participated in the hypnosis, either live or if you watch this later, please let us know what that experience was like for you. You know, Dani, I think that people are I'm sure everyone's going to agree. You just kind of emanate love, and it's really evident that you really care.
Thank you so much. I've actually had such a profound. Have you ever heard of tattoos? They're silent tattoos where you can't actually see them. I have actually had the word love etched on my entire body in meditation.
Oh, really?
So literally, I am love. Like literally, it was a very profound, universal experience. So, yep, that's what I do.
Did I hear you correctly? A silent tattoo?
Oh, I know. I can't think of the first word. It's a hypnosis strategy where you can actually have a client have a tattoo like on their body as an anchor, a word or whatever. If you've ever used that strategy to help people really integrate what's deeply true for them.
Oh, the first time I've heard of this. That's why I went, wait a minute. Did I hear that correctly?
I know it's a invisible tattoo. That's the word I was trying to. It's an invisible tattoo that you can actually help or suggest or guide your client to tattoo a meaning on their word, or a word or something simple on their body invisibly in hypnosis to make it become part of you. And before I read about that, I actually have the word love tattooed on my entire body in a meditation. So literally, I am love. So thanks for noticing that, Jim, because that's what I'm all about.
Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, I picked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Jim, you're the professional, master hypnotist.
That's right. So Mark Barris, thank you so much for watching. Always good to see you, my friend. Becca says that was nice. Thank you. That was nice. Cool. Awesome. And we'll get people that'll listen later on too. So again, if you watch later, I always check the comments. So please leave a comment. I'll let Dani know what you say. Also, I wanted to say something, Dani. You said so I was talking about the app, and I know you're going to have one when you're ready to have one, but I'm really envious of you because you've got like these 3 or 4 incredible programs that you've put together. I literally have no programs, and I'm really impressed by this. How did you get to a place where you put these together?
Well,
and how does that?
Yeah, so as soon as I started working for myself, working from home, doing my own thing, I was really investigating what are the truths out there that will transform and heal my life, because I was a wreck, and the world. And I'm kind of a
Yeah.
teacher, so I'm always learning and trying to impart knowledge. And so I kept learning things that were like, I didn't ever know that before. Like, oh God, I did not know that before. That changes everything. And so I had these concepts that were just mind blowing concepts that seemed so more deeply true than anything I'd ever known or believed before. And so I would study a particular concept and then write a session about it. And I had a friend who was a hypnotist as well. So she was my trial client for my first program. It took me about 2 years to write the soul power experience because I kept researching things and putting it together. So that's how I did it. It just was a transforming truth that transformed me. So I put those concepts in my program. Yeah. And if you go to my website and you go to the scroll at the bottom, you can see the list of concepts that that I have for my clients. Yeah, because they're not coming to hypnosis to hear me talk. I'm here to listen to them. So I was providing kind of teachable moments for them. Because when our subconscious mind can be open to truth and curious about how this truth might impact their story when they come to hypnosis, they're already ready to change. Yeah, that's how I did it. It took 2 years, and then my weight release program took about 6 months to write, and that's just finding what's doable and improving every day, seeing food for what it is. It's all about self-care, movement, meditation, and making healthy food. So pretty simple ways to just change your life kind of one day at a time. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
I think we've known each other like 7 or 8 years then, because I think you were working on that first program when we first met.
I know. So I said at the
Wow.
end of summer, I was going to present the Soul Power experience to the NGHY group. And I had a deadline to get that all, put together. And you guys were the first one that heard the content. Yeah, you were it. It was great. It was
Nice.
great. I love deadlines. Deadlines are very motivating. So I love putting deadlines in my future so that I can get stuff done.
Danny, do us a favor. There's going to be people that listen to this. They won't watch it. They're going to listen to it on Spotify and Apple podcasts and stuff. Will you say the name of your website and a couple of your social media sites for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's www. DANI green.today. So www.danigreen.today, because we have today to make decisions and to affect all of our tomorrows. So that is my basic website, but on that you'll find my personal Facebook page, because I like people to get to know me, and also my YouTube channel. So what I did is I put all my learning videos for my 3 programs on YouTube that I share with my clients, because I want people just to get the content of the transformational information for free. But I will note that all of those were recorded when I had brown hair, and I don't have brown hair anymore. So that's the old Dani, but still the information's great.
May look a little bit different. So we had Kendall said, thank you. That was wonderful. Kendall, of course, is another hypnotist. So yeah, I'm really impressed. You've only been at this 8 years. You've got 3 fantastic programs out there. Great stuff for anyone to choose from. And like you see, I mean, Dani is just really such a kind and loving person. If you're looking for a hypnotherapist to work with, highly recommend that you work with her. I wanted to before we end this, what I love about that is you sort of jumped in and just started doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people out there that aren't. And the reason I bring this up is because I have a friend that just contacted me recently this last week, and she wanted to start a podcast, and she's like one of these people that has a lot of trouble jumping in. So she might even be listening tonight. So if there's somebody out there, and I know we have some of these listeners here that I know maybe in the same place, what would you say to somebody who's kind of got that analysis paralysis going on, and they're not really, they know they want to do something, but they're just not jumping in? What would you tell them?
Well, you really have to listen to what your most inward truth, your soul is speaking to you about. If it really matters to you, then follow it, because that's why you were put on this planet, to project and to be who you are already. And just literally jump in. I don't know. You just have to jump in. You learn as you go. We all learn life as we go. We're just all
Yeah.
making it up every day. Just doing our best, and whatever life throws at us, that's what we learn to do. So just jump in, learn as you go, follow your heart, follow what's deeply important to you. And I think that when you jump in and you see what you're doing is making a difference in other people's lives, it's so motivating. So that's what's going to keep you going. When I left my church job and started officiating weddings and funerals, I didn't know how to do it in the real world. I just started doing it and improving it every time. So that's how I started hypnosis as well. My very first client booked a 9-session package for me, though. The very first hour was open. She was so transformed in that first session. So you get those, thumbs up from the universe that you're on the right track, and it's very motivating to keep going.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And I love what you said too, is you're, I don't remember how you worded it, but it was sort of like you could already be transforming people's lives. And that was basically my message to my friend, was like, you're really you're shortchanging people right now. And I'll tell you, the other reason I brought this up, because she wants to start a podcast. And she's got this analysis paralysis going, oh, but I got to get this perfect microphone. What's everybody using and everything? And, when I first started out, I was using this really cheap $30 Logitech, headset, and it worked fine. And as I grew, now I've got the Blue Yeti, and I love the Blue Yeti. It was kind of the industry standard when I bought it. And there's, maybe later on I'll move up to the next one. But, to really, it's like you're cheating people, because you don't want to just go with what you have right now. And if you can't afford to get, a better microphone, just start with what you got.
That's like I can't play basketball without a pair of Jordans that cost several $100.
Exactly.
Like, put tennis shoes on and put the ball in the basket.
There's a concept called perfect self-expression. So what your job is to express yourself to the best of your ability, and then drop it, leave it there. Yeah. You've put out who you are. The universe will take that and use it however it's to be used. And you don't have to bear the responsibility of who's listening. What will they say? How am I impacting? Just express yourself and let it go, and express yourself again. And your inner strength will grow. It's so empowering to just say what's on your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just think about all those people that could be benefiting by what you're doing, right now, as you put something out there. So if you're one of those people, please just jump in there, start doing something. If you're feeling pulled to do something, called to do something, don't let those kind of things get in the way. Don't let, the cost of a microphone get in the way. Get out there, use what you've got. You'll get better, and people will notice as you go along. Dani, I can't wait to see what you're going to talk about tomorrow at the meeting.
Oh yeah. So it's called The Spirit of Business. Our infinite self is just going to show up and be empowered to do business.
Right. So make sure you follow Dani on social media. We will. We always record those meetings, so they will be up on the NGH Washington YouTube channel. But we'll probably both also share it on our Facebook pages, so folks that want to go watch that can watch that as well.
Yes, thank you so much, you guys. Good to be with all of you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see you.
And thanks for tuning in.
Actually, before we go, was there anything else, Dani, that you wanted to mention that we didn't talk about that you want to get out there?
Oh, yeah, sure. So anyone who has seen me on this show can get a $25 off per session rate for any of my programs. I also have free resources on my website. I have Activate Your Soul Power guided meditation and a written meditation that has about 40 words that represent your soul. And so you'll find a word that is just so you. My favorite word for my soul is home. Like, I'm so happy to be me that I am my own place of feeling at home. But anyway, so I've got that, and then some universal truths. So there's some just PDF downloads that are free on my website, and you can get
Nice.
a discount. Just let me know that you saw me on Jim's show.
And Jim, do you have
Let her know.
something that like a meetup or something going on this weekend?
Yeah, that's the talk she's giving tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, 10 a.m. tomorrow. If you're in the
Okay.
Seattle area, come by the Mount Lake Terrace Library. Actually, I think we are. Are we streaming it live to YouTube or just to the Zoom channel?
I know that on my phone I can just record it to Zoom and then I upload it to YouTube. I've not figured out how to do that other thing, but if you can help me figure that out, we'll see. I don't
You know
know.
what? Maybe I could. If we have time tomorrow, we can stream it to both. We can do that. Also, you know, if I think I posted, I'm gonna make sure before I leave, I'm gonna post that meeting because there's a Zoom link and it's open to the public. So if any of you that are listening right now want to hear Dani talk tomorrow as well, you're gonna see that link. It's gonna be on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Jim Kellner. You'll be able to see what she talks about tomorrow.
Yay. Great.
Cool.
Thanks, Jim.
Absolutely. There was one more thing. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, in 2 weeks, you know, we do the second and fourth Friday, 7:30 p.m. We're not sure who's on. Did you get a chance to talk to Dan, Brian?
I have not. No.
Okay.
So
we're looking around. We might have I'm going to be at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference, so I won't be on that night. I might pop in as a guest with my good friend Grant Saunders and maybe some other folks out there. But it could just be Shawn and Brian hanging out, telling hypnosis stories and doing some hypnosis. They may have a guest on. Who knows?
So Grant's coming back he's flying back across the water to Michigan?
He is. That's how committed he is to the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. Yeah.
Have him extend a trip out to Washington and it'd be great to see him.
It would be great to see him out here. Hopefully for the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis Conference. I do want to let you know, everybody, I forgot the exact date though. We've got Mary Lee LeBay coming up in September, the end of September, the second Friday of September, whatever that is. She will be doing a past life regression hypnosis session with us, and I know that's always a popular topic. So if you want to see if you were the Queen of England in a past life, Brian, we're gonna find out.
Who needs enemies with friends like you, man?
I was a frog in a past life. I just found out.
Were you?
We should all name our past lives. You guys know some of yours?
No, I don't think that would be safe for like
public consumption.
Yeah. No matter how much maple syrup you put on it.
Yeah. Well, I know several of mine. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I was an Indian squaw. I was a
you weren't 1,024th% Indian squaw, were you?
Well, I literally was in a teepee. So I just assumed Native American. I'm sorry, Native American teepee. I was her. I was a nun in Teresa of Avila's convent, which is really cool. I was a frog, and I was also a prostitute in a saloon.
Okay, which order did that happen? Did you get saved before or after?
I think the frog was more recent. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, those are four of my.
That's God going, okay, I give up. Like, okay, we're completely different species now.
I know. I'm just saying that it's so weird when you do a past life regression because I just know I was a frog. I just know it. You cannot talk me out of it. I experienced it. And I was a very happy frog because I was beloved by a little preschool girl.
Ah. So, Dani, the important question.
Green, and I have green eyes. So, it's just innate.
It all fits. So the important question, though, Dani, do flies taste good?
I think they do. I think they do taste good. Yeah. I like them.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you again, Dani Green, so much. Thank you, of course, Shawn, Brian. Remember, go get out there, go do your dream, go live your dream, go get yourself a Blue Yeti microphone or whatever microphone you can afford. Get started. That's just a metaphor. Go start playing basketball. You don't need the Jordan Jet. You can start off with those ones from Target or wherever else. Just get out there, start living your dream, guys. Take care, be well, be awesome.
Okay, namaste,
Stay
everyone.
free, guys.
Good night.